From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs, is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
Great. What am I going to do now?
Time to visit Brown's Auto Collision.
No problem at all. We've contacted your insurance company and we can get you back into regional condition right away. And I just want to remind you that all of our work is covered by a lifetime warranty. We're done.
Wow, that was easy and looks great.
Brown's Auto Collision.
Where quality is no accident.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no
Rise and shine, everyone. It is Monday, June the 24th, 7:30 in the morning. We're really happy to have you start your day off with us. So every morning we get to bring to you lots of, community information. We get to visit with lots of really great people. And this morning we are getting to know a little bit more about Average Joe's Sports Talk. So if you are a sports fan, especially of high school football around Alabama, then you know of Average Joe's Sports Talk. If you don't, then we are here to tell you about it today, because it's definitely something that you're going to want to follow, especially as high school sports are gearing up in the next few months. So with us, we have the owner and creator, Bo Starkey with Average Joe. So welcome, Bo.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's Monday. It was a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend?
Pretty good. This one's pretty good. My wife was in town. It's a rarity nowadays with her being a travel nurse, so got to hang out with her and the family. Got back from my trip across the country, so it's been pretty good.
Yeah, so you had some nice travels here recently.
Yeah, we did. We covered about 4,700 miles in 7 days.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you got to pack in a lot of really cool things in those 7 days, huh?
Almost lost my life to a buffalo or a bison.
Okay. Cool.
But no, yeah, we got out of there. So yeah, it's been really interesting last week and a half for myself.
Yeah, and you got to go to lots of baseball games too.
Yeah, we went to 3 different major league parks. Went to St. Louis, Kansas City, and then Coors Field and Denver. And then we also got to hit the opening game of the College World Series, which was very fun, a unique place there in Omaha. So it's been a long journey, but to get to see all those places in a short period of time, it was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you made it a goal to visit all of the baseball parks, or?
It never was a goal. I think it's kind of transitioned into a goal now. I think I'm 6 parks out from seeing them all. It's been very blessed to get to see what I've seen. Fortunately, MLB games are not that expensive. I mean, I've sat in Citi Field in New York City before in Queens for $5.
Oh wow.
So like those week games where it's not a great team in town, you can catch games very affordable. So that, if you can pay for the travel and the gas, and we're fortunate enough to have like diamond level on Choice hotels, so we get like 30-40% off each night we stay in. Like every 4th night's free.
Oh, nice.
So when you start adding that up, it makes it very affordable to get to go to these games and things like that. So that's how I was able to conquer some of this. And then my wife, being a travel nurse, when I'm not at work, I don't want to sit around the house, so I just jump in the car and take off,
There you go. Have some experiences.
Yeah.
So have you always been a fan of sports? Do you have sports that are you more of a baseball fan or a football fan, or do you just like them all?
Growing up, I grew up a baseball fan, and then I kind of kind of got out of. I was always a football fan to watch. It's weird because the sport I played was basketball. So, but I always enjoyed watching the other two, probably a little bit more as a child. And then baseball, as you got a little bit older, baseball is a little bit of a slower game, obviously. So it took a lot of away from me. I was wanting to see so much action so fast. I kind of went away from baseball watching it until they brought the pitching clock in to speed the game up a little bit in the major leagues. And they did a few other rule changes that kind of brought me back to the game. And but then, yeah, pretty much since I've been, I remember some of my earliest memories ever is when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old. I'd go sit at my uncle's house, who was a huge Alabama fan, and he was amazed that I knew every player on every team, and he was just he was like, how in the world does this dude know this? And that was before we had internet and stuff, because I'm old, I'm like a dinosaur now, but just it was through watching. I mean, you see all those big time players, and kind of mesmerizing when you're a child, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, only because I've seen it firsthand with my husband's youngest. I have 2 bonus kids, as you know. You've met them both.
Yeah.
But the youngest, he was like that. He always would retain you. The information on players. He could tell you who played for who, and so he was like that at a young age. And I think he's continuing on.
Yeah.
So sports is a big thing in our house.
No
I've had
doubt.
to learn a lot about sports in the last 8, 9 years.
That's right.
But it's been fun. So you always just like to pay attention to the players and see what positions they play and what their stats were.
I remember when I had G.I. Everybody played with G.I. Joes if you're a guy about my age. But I remember I would line mine up in formations and play football with them. And my mom, she passed away recently, but I remember her. She would sit there and be watching her shows, and I'd be on the floor doing formations with my G.I. Joes, and she's like, man, you're going to be a coach or something. I don't know what it is, but you're going to be doing something with sports. I don't know. I remember her saying that even when I was a child. She knew I loved playing then, but she didn't know. She was like, this dude's doing something with sports, So, yeah.
And you definitely did. She was right. She saw that. So when did you get started? Did you coach? Have you coached before?
No, I was fortunate enough to be a pretty good player in high school. I had a few small-time offers to play college basketball, but I just wasn't a good student. I didn't apply myself. I grew up really rough in the projects. I didn't have no money. I had, my mom did the best she could. She was disabled pretty much her whole life, but she didn't get her disability check till like 2006. Well, I had already moved out of the house by 96 when I was a junior in school, so I grew up so poor, and she didn't, and this is not a shot at her, she didn't instill or drill down on me about grades, so I didn't take it really serious, like I should have. If I could go back and do it again, I'd probably not be sitting here. I probably would be a coach somewhere, but everything happens for a reason. I didn't go to college. I probably should have. I should have gritted my teeth and took one of those small offers and went and got educated that way, but the life lessons I learned in the projects growing up, and the early years when I was like, one of my first jobs was probably the worst jobs you could ever imagine. We were delivering and disposing of used tires, or picking up and disposing of used tires. So covered from head to toe and just black soot, and the metal sticking through your hands, and you're freezing cold because they had water in them that would hit you, and you was out there in the sun in the summertime all day with about the heat stroke, it's 100 degrees, and then making $5 an hour back then doing that. If you told somebody that today, I mean, they'd think you're certifiably insane if you was going to go do that for $5 a day now. But the life lessons you learn, those are immeasurable. To me, those are the things that kind of create what you can be on the other end. Because it's either going to make you or break you. There wouldn't no turning to my mom or my dad and saying, hey, I need some help with this. That wasn't an option. So it was either sink or swim. It's like you've been thrown into a river, and you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. So I chose to swim, although I barely kept my head above water for about 15 or 20 years. But yeah, that's irreplaceable stuff I learned at a very young age.
Yeah, and the work ethic, and like you said, it's up to you.
Yeah, there ain't no asking for help. That wasn't an option. So.
Yeah. Well, you've done pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, done pretty good by the grace of God, ain't no doubt.
Yeah, and that brings us to Average Joe. So how long has Average Joe been in existence? When did it get created?
Well, I can rewind the clock. We got a good little while to talk, so I can explain it to you. This is going to be our 7th season coming up. So it's been a journey. You know, we've had some tragic loss of Reggie, who was one of my original guys. Josh Abercrombie, basically my right-hand man. You know, he's been there the whole time as well, along with Reggie. And then Reggie passed away, and then another guy gave me the concept.
Yeah, there they are.
There's Josh, the original member. The guy, believe it or not, if you're looking at the screen, the guy on the right's named Shannon Wood, right there.
He's the one with the ball cap on.
Yeah, and Shannon, actually, people think that I came up with the concept, but I didn't.
Okay.
Shannon came up with the concept. He didn't know how to start it because I had another channel that was worldwide known. It talked about craft beer and movies at the time, and it had gotten really big. We were getting paid in 2 months. I'm monetizing 2 months off of YouTube. And Shannon came to me wanting to do sports on it, and I said absolutely not, because I was burnt out on sports. So then my first phone call was to Josh, the gentleman right there on my right. He's still with us today, obviously. And then my next phone call was to Reggie Davis, and that's Reggie right there.
Let's talk about Reggie. He
Yeah,
made a
rest in
huge
peace.
impact.
Yeah, you know, he's it's hard to talk about Reggie without getting teared up, even to this day. You know, he's just a rock for us. You know what I'm saying? He loved Gadsden City, so we let Reggie have Gadsden City everything. But the relationships Reggie made when he was there, it's just, you can't put a price tag on it. He just did a really good job of cultivating relationships, and actually he kind of was like a dad to us, not in a sense like talking down to us, but just keeping us together as a group, because we'd get off the rails from time to time, and Reggie would bring us back, we really missed that aspect. And he ran all of our Twitter. I trusted him. I handed it off to him. He ran every bit of that. So it was just a blessing. The time we got to spend with Reggie was a real blessing, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there's a big void there, I know.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's hard to talk about him and not tear up even to this day. It's about teared up then talking about him, but it's been a blow to us, I can tell you that.
Sure, it's okay. A loss of somebody who is that special to you, and that is that nucleus of your group, the one that kind of keeps you all, it keeps you all grounded.
It's needed, because now it's just like the Indians are going at each other. No, we're pretty calm in there now, but it's just a different atmosphere without Reggie there.
Sure, when you have things that are running smoothly and everybody has their lane and their part, and then a big piece of that.
And then we would be wanting to go off the rails on some issue or something. We always keep it internal. Reggie would be that guy, say, hey man, chill out. Let's think about this, calm down.
He was kind of y'all's coach.
Yeah, I mean, he seriously kind of was, Now, sometimes we'd have to calm Reggie down, but...
Well, you got to calm some coaches down sometimes,
no doubt.
too.
That's why they have what they call a get-back coach. But,
really?
But yeah.
Well...
Go ahead.
And I know he was such a great guy, and really, when he passed, you could feel that in the community and all of the beautiful, kind words. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. Really, really rough.
But you do a lot to honor his memory and to make sure that you continue something that he loves so much, which is Average Joe's Sports Talk.
Yep.
So, well, we have so many more things to talk about. Let's take a quick break and go hear a word from our sponsors and check in with your little tidbit from your local news and weather. So we'll be right back. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upper Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
Hey everybody, I'm Larry May. I've been in the entertainment business for over 25 years. I've written for the local paper. I've interviewed a lot of touring artists and local artists here. And what I figured out is how much talent we have here in Alabama. That's why we put a new show together for you called Entertainment Alabama. Come watch us for the hottest new acts and some of your favorites that are national touring artists.
More than 2.5 million youths admitted to vaping, according to data from the CDC. Teens are at a greater risk for nicotine addiction because their brains are still developing. Please talk to your children about vaping.
Although we may see things differently,
the message can still reach me.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News update. The city of Anniston is hosting a free football camp in July that will feature current Auburn football defensive back and former Anniston High standout Antonio Kite. The camp for boys age 5 through 16 will be held on July 8th at 10 a.m. and July 9th at 5:30 p.m. There will be a public hearing at the Bynum Community Center at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, June 25th. Citizens will have the opportunity to hear from engineers and view maps concerning potential infrastructure improvements. These projects are planned for the Bynum community. Following the public hearing, the City Council will meet at 6:30 p.m. at the Bynum Community Center. The Eras Tour is coming to the City Hall parking lot at 7 p.m. June 28th for a rescheduled movie night experience. It's still free, it's still fun, and it's still open to everybody who wants to sing, dance, or even quietly regard the festival atmosphere from a comfy lawn chair. Be sure to bring some water to drink because it's been decided there won't be a drop falling from the sky. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine, everyone. It's 7:47 on your Monday morning, June the 24th. Thank you for joining us. So we have been speaking with Bo Starkey. He is one of the creators and now the owner of Average Joe's Sports Talk. And if you don't know about Average Joe's Sports Talk, you are learning about it this morning, and you'll be so happy that you do, especially if you are a fan of sports and local sports right here around our area. So welcome back, Bo. How's it going?
Going good. Great commercial break.
Yes. So before we went to the break, we were talking about you, getting to know you, and now I'd love to hear the full story of how Average Joe's Sports Talk got started.
Okay, I created a YouTube channel. It's a long story how that original YouTube channel got created. It's a long story. I don't want to get into that because we'd be here for another hour. Okay. But I created that YouTube channel out of kind of Field of Dreams type thing. I know it sounds crazy, but just something that kept coming to me. And I ended up creating that other YouTube channel, and it exploded. You know, some of our videos on that other channel was getting like 680,000 views, 800,000 views, you know.
And this was the Reels and a Beer.
It's called A Reel and a Beer.
Wow.
Yeah, like a movie Reel and a Beer. And at the time, you know, we were doing craft beer tastings and brewery tours, and we were doing movie reviews and you know, trailer reactions and talk about new movies that came out. So there's a lot of content. Talked about old movies, you know. It was kind of like a southern version of movie reviews and mixed in with craft beers. And
sounds fabulous.
It sounds fabulous, but some people are like, I don't get it. And
I like both of those things.
I thought it was, you know, at the time in my life, that was what I was into, and that's what we did, and it blew up. And so Shannon, the gentleman you seen on the right in that picture of the three of us, he come to me and wanted to do a football review on there. You know, usually to get monetized on YouTube, it takes about over 2 years of just grinding and finding a niche, and you can buy books on it and this, that, and other. We did it in 2 months. We were collecting checks in 2 months on that other channel. So it was very special and very cool. So it was just ascending. So Shannon come to me. He wanted to do a football review, and I said, nope, I'm out. I'm done with sports. I'm burned. I was burned out on sports. I was just completely burned out. So he kept. About the third or fourth time he did, I said, all right, Shannon, here's what we're going to do. It's not going on this channel because this channel's never going to have sports on it. We may talk about sports movies, but we're not talking about sports. So I said, I'm going to create another channel. And I was thinking in the mindset of worldwide audience, right? So I knew we were not going to reach that. There's too much competition out here watching college football and pro football fantasy, which is all we were going to do. So he was like, well, let's just try it. So on day 3 or 4 of us discussing this, I went and created the channel. And I did create it, its own entity. It has its own name, its own, you know, website and all that. So I created it, and I said, I'm going to show you that we do not get the views we do over here, and there's too much competition there, and it's just not going to work. And he goes, well, let's just try it. Literally, like a night before we filmed, he goes, let's do a high school review. I said, dude, have you lost your mind? And he goes, what, dude? I said, have you lost your mind? He goes, what do you mean? I said, dude, if everybody in Etowah County watches it, we're going to get 60,000 views. That's if every human, you know, everybody in Etowah County watches it. I said, on our last trailer reaction, we had like 150,000 views, or it may have been 300,000. It was some crazy number, just on a trailer reaction. You know, us watching, you know, Avengers trailer, you know. So he talks me into it, and we go and we do it. So that's how Reggie, first I knew I needed a reliable person that I'd been around pretty much my whole life. So I called Josh. Josh was my first phone call. All right, the next one, if we were going to do high school, we had to get Reggie in the mix because he was the biggest high school in Gadsden City. 7A at the time, there's 6 now. So Reggie was my next call.
Was Reggie working with Gadsden State? Gadsden City?
He had another job. He was just real close to the program, grew up, went to Gadsden High, the old Gadsden High, knew everybody there. So I just knew we needed to include Reggie. So we did our first show, and we previewed the 3 biggest schools in Etowah County, which was Southside, Etowah, and Gadsden City. We put that show out. I thought it was going to get 12 views. Well, it got 1,200 views. So I was like, that's crazy. Like, I would have never thought that, because it's like just a bunch of unknown guys. And before we go too far, how the name came about.
Yeah.
I've been asked that 100 times. When we were trying to come up with a name, I told Shannon, I was like, well, dude, look, we're not experts. I don't want nobody to think that we're experts, because we're not. We're just really and truly, we're just a bunch of has-beens, you know. And I said, we're just like average guys, you know. We may be the guy next to you at Walmart in line, or the guy parked beside you at Sonic, or next to you at a park. We're just average dudes. We're just, you know, average Joes, you know. And Shannon goes, man, that needs to be our name. And I was like, what? He goes, Average Joes. I said, are you crazy? They're gonna think we're the dodgeball team. And he goes, no, dude, think about it. He's like, that way everybody will know, like, these dudes don't think they're elite. This is just their opinion on what's going on. So that's where the name come up.
Nice.
And so we created the name. We put that video out there. It got 1,200 views.
Wow.
The next, let's see, we put that video out, I think, on Wednesday, and no. We put that video out on a Wednesday before I left. So then that weekend, I left 2 or 3 days, let's see, Wednesday, about 2 or 3 days after the video. I had a trip the next day when we filmed to Seattle. I flew to Seattle. Now, none of this was planned. This is how it blew up, though. I flew to Seattle, and my wife and I was going to get in a car and drive down the scenic highway, in and out of lighthouses, going to wineries, looking at just, San Francisco, the Painted Ladies, just everything West Coast.
Nice.
Oregon, Washington, all the way down to Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles, IMG Academy and Mater Dei were playing. Now, to this day, I don't know there's ever been a high school football game with more recruited athletes than those two. Well, I grew up with Cornell Williams, Cadillac Williams. We grew up in a few apartments down from each other in Bradley Park in Atala. He was coaching IMG's running backs now. Since then, he's went on to be Auburn's head coach, and now he's with the Raiders in the NFL. So at the time, he was coaching IMG's running back, and they had two of the top 3 running backs in the nation on that team. Wow. There's 51 scholarship offered athletes there. I don't know anything about trademarks or anything, so I record the game with my phone and stream it live. Well, about 3 minutes into me doing that, this dude on Max Preps messages me, and he goes, "Hey, dude, I'm being or something at Max Preps. Can I share your link?" And I was like, "Sure." Like when I first did it, it was like 25, 30 people watching it. Well, he shares it, and it goes from 25 to 30 people to 2,500 people to 3,000 to 7,000. I mean, like watching it live. And I don't know what's going on. I just know that, I know what monetizing is and all that. Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching these numbers, and I'm like, what in the world? And it's just going crazy. And there's people messaging all over the country. Who are these guys? Who's the average Joe? People subscribing left and right, and talking. I mean, the guys all over the country. You got 51 scholarship offered athletes in one high school game. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Bryce Young, the quarterback to Alabama, was in that game. Evan Neal, top 5 pick from Alabama, was in that game. Trey Sanders, number 1 player in the country, was in that game. I could just keep naming them. Well, the next day, I'm at LAX, and I'm about to get on a plane. I get a phone call from Jeremy Reeves. If you know Jeremy Reeves, he owns the Gridirons. Mm-hmm. So he calls me, and he goes, "Hey, man, where you at?" And I said, "I'm at LAX, about to fly home. What's up?" He's like, "I got to sponsor you guys, man." And I was thinking, yeah, pretty cool. I said, "Well, what are you going to do?" He's like, "A beer tasting or something?" He's like, "What? I don't think we need beer around kids." And I was like, "Well, you serve it at your restaurant." Like I didn't come up with those rules, I think obviously he's talking about my other channel that's established. No. He's talking about Average Joe's, because Jeremy, he's real big into sports, and he's seen that this game was going on, and he was like, "Man, this is super cool." And the people's on there messaging, they're from Gadsden, Alabama, So Jeremy's seen all that, and he was like, "I'm gonna sponsor you." So that's how my first sponsor ever come about, and it was like a week and a half into our show.
Wow.
And so when I flew home, he was like, "What do I need to pay you?" And I was like, "I didn't want to ask for no money. It's only been up and running a week and a half." So I just said, "Feed the player and feed us." He's like, "Done. Anything else you need, let me know." So we started doing a Player of the Week at Gridiron. And since that time, we were barely keeping our heads above water, It's just kind of went like this, and it hasn't slowed down or stopped or had any resemblance of slowing down. And it took us about almost 4 calendar years, 3.5, almost 4 calendar years to get credentialed by the ASHIA, because we were kind of the first of our kind, which is kind of a social media-based media company that covers high school sports. But we're fortunate enough to get that done. And, once we got that done, now we do all the post-game interviews at Super Sevens and Final Fours, and
I want to get into all that in more depth, because you definitely have no intentions of slowing down, because really it's just continuing to gear up. And we'll talk about that and some of the really exciting things that are happening there at Average Joe's. So stay tuned. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24.
Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. The city of Anniston is hosting a free football camp in July that will feature current Auburn football defensive back and former Anniston High standout Antonio Kite. The camp for boys age 5 through 16 will be held on July 8th at 10 a.m. and July 9th at 5:30 p.m. There will be a public hearing at the Bynum Community Center at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, June 25th. Citizens will have the opportunity to hear from engineers and view maps concerning potential infrastructure improvements. These projects are planned for the Bynum community. Following the public hearing, the City Council will meet at 6:30 p.m. at the Bynum Community Center. The Eras Tour is coming to the City Hall parking lot at 7 p.m. June 28th for a rescheduled movie night experience. It's still free, it's still fun, and it's still open to everybody who wants to sing, dance, or even quietly regard the festival atmosphere from a comfy lawn chair. Be sure to bring some water to drink because it's been decided there won't be a drop falling from the sky. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine, everyone. It's Monday, June the 24th, 8 o'clock in the morning, and thank you for tuning in with us. We have been learning about Average Joe's Sports Talk, been visiting with Bo Starkey, who is one of the original creators and the owner of Average Joe's Sports Talk. If you like sports, especially high school sports, then you probably already know about Average Joe's, and it's really fun to learn how Average Joe's got started, and it is a super big deal. And so for just being at the right place at the right time and creating a channel, and some guys coming together to share their mutual love of sports and to shine some light on sports, but now high school. That is definitely the light that is shining from Average Joe's. So welcome back, Bo. So you were talking, that's such a cool story about you didn't really think that that was going to be the trajectory of the channel necessarily. We're going to talk about sports, but high school sports, and you see that there's a huge following. People love high school sports, especially around the South and where we live, but I think that's pretty much everywhere. High school sports is important.
Yes, very, very important.
Yeah.
Molding, young kids into young adults, showing good leadership. Also, from a confidence standpoint, being able to feature some athletes. And look, not everybody's going to play college. We know that. But if I had a nickel for every time a parent come up to me and said, hey, I know my kid's not a college athlete, but what you guys did for her or him kind of changed their mindset, to put them on a platform. It really made them change their own opinion of themselves. They're like, hey, somebody is watching me, I can give them a little bit of a boost, But
yeah, that's neat.
Where we left off is we kind of talked about the trajectory of like Average Joe's and where it's heading and where it's been. But those early years, I couldn't see the forest for the trees, and even I told Shannon that I didn't understand how needed this was from a high school standpoint. I was thinking worldwide numbers and getting monetized by YouTube, and let's just keep feeding the beast. That's not what this is. This is, let's get in here and let's uncover Everstone. Let's go to the nooks and crannies of the state, whether it be a 1A team all the way up to Thompson 7A. Let's discover these stories. Let's feature these athletes. Anything from a female quarterback that we talked to at Chelsea last year to a young lady at Westbrook that had completely demolished her knee, fought through it to have surgery at the end of the season. They had to remove her kneecap, go in to fix her knee, put her kneecap back on. She lived it. We got to feature it. So, stories like that. And then, it's we got monetized, as I said, by the ASHA. We're able to do post-game throughout the playoffs, and we do weekly shows and things like that. But we went from just a few 100,000 hits a month, which I thought was, man, we'll never surpass this. We've had up to 12 million people reached, 12 million impressions in a month. It's like 12.2 million. We've had single posts that's reached almost 4 million people. Like the one with Ace Austin, her dad, and then Ricky's granddaughter, which would have been, our grandchild, which would have been, Ace would be the aunt to that kid. So Trent Seburn's story, we broke it kind of first. The quarterback at Thompson that broke all the records as an 8th grader in the 7A championship game. It reached almost 4 million people.
My goodness.
So to think that you have the potential to reach 4 million people on a post, a single post. And then our average monthly reach when we're in season and rolling is anywhere from 1.5 million up to 12 million. 12.5 million. So that's just Facebook. All right. So we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have YouTube as well. So that when you put it all out there in a package, and like if you're trying to get somebody seen and get some scholarships to people or just get eyeballs on something. It could be a coach who's got a day job, working his guts out in the factory and just makes it there just in time to practice, and they may get one win a year. That's a story that needs to be told. That's what we're looking to do. Or a guy who's like coach up at West End up there in Walnut Grove, redid their softball field, and the parents and him and all these people worked tirelessly, hours and hours to help make that happen. That's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that we like to do. On top of, hey, let's go look at the 5-star guy. Let's go talk to Antoine Fagans about his kids. He's got several D1 athletes in his family. That's just an example. Let's go talk to Trent Seaburn. Let's go talk to whoever it may be. Ryan Williams in Mobile. Kool-Aid's been on our show. Just an example of, we talk to those guys as well, but we also talk to the 1A athlete that, a lot of times will get overlooked, if that makes sense.
It does. And a lot of coaches, well, I know of definitely, we got to have an interview with the AD at Gadsden State and the softball coach, and they said they use Average Joe's as a recruiting tool. They're able to really, see a lot of these athletes and be able to watch them through Average Joe's. And I'm sure that's the case for many coaches.
Yep, it's kind of a hub. And people's asked me to this day what I'm most proud of outside of forming these family bond with all the people who work at Average Joe's, whether it be Deidre Pike, Brick Boy, April Green, Josh, Reggie, Shannon at one time, Ivan, Noah. We just, the list goes on and on. Outside of that, and then the family and friends that I've formed over this time, it's what we've done for female athletes in the state. Because I think without question, I sat with Madonna Thompson, who's won 200 and something straight conference games at the junior college level at Shelton State. I sat with her at JSU at the regionals, and she told me out of her own mouth, she's like, "Hey, Bo, there's a lot of times we can't be everywhere during the season. We just can't. We got a season going on. We will look at your post, and we'll go look up a player immediately." And we'll say, "Hey, is this somebody who could come play here?" And she said, "We do it all the time because what you're doing helps us identify." But another thing we've done, we've went outside just the normal high school stuff, and we'll cover these athletes with their travel teams, AAU travel teams, elite level. Doug Bush, the Southern Stars. I talked to him yesterday. He has, I don't know how many D1 athletes in his organization. Malascalco right here at Excel, and what they do in baseball is another example of, we'll cover those kids on the travel team. So we formed a relationship with the kids and their parents, not just with them in the school. If that makes sense.
It does, it does. And I know that these kids really appreciate, like you said, being seen, and it motivates them to do big things. And parents and grandparents, that's just a little added bonus if you don't live close by and you get to see what's going on and watch Average Joe's and see what's going on with these athletes. That's really a proud grandparent moment, or aunt and uncle, or parent moment to see their kid featured on there. And there's even more exciting things, because Average Joe's is now partnered with WEAC TV 24, and so you're going to really be able to even reach more, as if you need to, because you have so many. But of course, you want to grow it and you want to be able to expand, and this is such a great way to do so. How did that conversation and that partnership come about?
It came out at the end of the Super 7 last year. I had found out Todd was wanting to speak with me through Chandler. Chandler told me, "Would you like to sit down with Todd one day?" And I sat down with Todd. And I sat down with Todd for 5 minutes, and I could see he's genuine. Todd shows up. He comes in. He's actually way more humble than he needs to be. If I was Todd Davis, I might act like Ric Flair, But I would probably be strutting around like Ric Flair. But with Todd, you would just think Todd's just a guy beside you hanging out at a, purchasing groceries or something. Super humble guy. So that's the kind of people I'm attracted to. So it's just like, it don't matter what he's got going on, you'll never know it. He's just genuine. So I sit there and talk to Todd, and within 5 minutes I knew this guy's genuine. So I'm going to take everything he says seriously. And he talked about a way of how we could partner and make it work or whatever. But he didn't talk about it in the first visit or the second visit. It's about the third or fourth.
He wanted to get to know you first.
He wanted to get to know me. So he and I come up with a plan, and I told him, I said, you're going to see some dividends, but when it's really going to kick in is when football kicks in the next year.
Oh yeah, and we're about to head that way.
Which is where we're at.
Hey, we got to take a quick break, but when we get back, I want to talk a little bit more about that and all of the exciting things that are happening with Average Joe's and with us, WEAC TV 24. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
More than 2.5 million youths admitted to vaping, according to data from the CDC. Teens are at a greater risk for nicotine addiction because their brains are still developing. Please talk to your children about vaping.
Although we may see things differently,
the message can still reach me.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. The City of Anniston is hosting a free football camp in July that will feature current Auburn football defensive back and former Anniston High standout Antonio Kite. The camp for boys age 5 through 16 will be held on July 8th at 10 a.m. and July 9th at 5:30 p.m. There will be a public hearing at the Bynum Community Center at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, June 25th. Citizens will have the opportunity to hear from engineers and view maps concerning potential infrastructure improvements. These projects are planned for the Bynum community. Following the public hearing, the City Council will meet at 6:30 p.m. at the Bynum Community Center. The Eras Tour is coming to the City Hall parking lot at 7 p.m. June 28th for a rescheduled movie night experience. It's still free, it's still fun, and it's still open to everybody who wants to sing, dance, or even quietly regard the festival atmosphere from a comfy lawn chair. Be sure to bring some water to drink because it's been decided there won't be a drop falling from the sky. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine, everyone. It's 8:18 on your Monday morning, June the 24th. And we've been visiting with Bo Starkey with Average Joe's Sports Talk. And before we went to break, Bo, we were talking about the connection that is very exciting, which is between WEAC TV 24 and Average Joe's Sports Talk. So where do you think that is going to open up doors and do some really cool things?
Absolutely. You know, it's already been a game changer for myself, I believe, and I think Todd will say that too, but it's in the infancy stages. Anytime you bring, two entities, business, whatever it is, friendships, whatever together, it takes a little while to cultivate and figure each other out, find out what our niche is. And TV24 has a lot of things going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Things it's about to launch in the next few days. It's going to be absolute game changers. This is on the eve of the high school sports when I told him this is when we're really going to kick in. And then once we get that stronghold in, it just snowballs into the next sport, to the next sport. And the next thing you know, it's this juggernaut kind of rolling down the track, sort of speaking, if you do put it in train terms. But, getting to know Todd and his vision here, Todd, TV24 has been around a long time. Pigskin Roundup, you can think back in the day, years and years it's been here. The TV24 name has always carried a lot of weight. I remember when I first started Average Joe's and I'd just hear TV24, I'd be like, man, that's, in my mind, I was like, man, that's just like, that's big time. And I always has that perception. I always, to this day, I still got a tremendous amount of respect for them. What we do is a little bit of a different angle. So having that marriage and bringing in what we do, and then having the resources that you guys have here and the name and look, longevity, anything you do for a long time is going to be, in my opinion, I respect it. And TV24 has been around a long time. And to have the opportunity to work with TV24 is an absolute blessing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be so great for all of these schools and, of course, the athletes and the parents and just the community.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about, is about, highlighting the community, because there are so many things going on here, and we need that local coverage. Right. We need people concentrating on what's going on right here. And
one thing that we are really versed at, and matter of fact, the gentleman just spoke to me on my Facebook during the commercial, is we pretty much cover from all the way down to Mobile to the Tennessee line in some format. Like one of my guys, Corey Labouty, is in Mobile right now. He does a lot of work for us down there. He's one of the, the most well-known, well-respected names in broadcasting in the state of Alabama. Has a talk show there. And we got Caleb in Birmingham and Calera, who does broadcasting for state championship games and the game of the week for the ASHA. We have outlets and people all over the state. So what we're going to do, this is my number one goal here with 24, is this community we're talking about. We're going to make that community much larger. And that's my number one goal. It's still going to be local, intense coverage, but we're going to make that community bigger. So that's my goal. Like, I want people in the Pisgahs of the world, or it may be across the state at West Blockton, or it may be down to Sylacauga, to Mobile. I want them to know TV24 Average Joe's is one entity, and that we're here to help cover all those areas.
Yes, so the whole state of Alabama and all the sports is not just limited,
that's right,
to high school football. Like you said, you bring,
Lord, no.
a lot of attention to other athletes and with female athletes, and
and there's a lot of entities around here that when the football drops, they stop. That's it.
Yeah.
They're done. That's the furthest thing that we want to have happen, because guess what? Those athletes that have been training all summer, playing summer play dates last week, and running their guts out, they're still going to be playing basketball. Those wrestlers on those mats, is sweating in these 100-degree gyms, getting ready for these, they're still going to wrestle. So why not cover them? Golf, tennis, track. We've had them all on the show. Bowling. Yeah, we've covered state championships as held in Gadsden. We've covered several bowling championships.
And soccer. Can't forget about soccer.
How many games did you see us at, Southside this year?
Yeah, that was fun.
It's just, those athletes need coverage too, and I think it's an injustice, really, to just pick one. And actually, we're going to be talking to Heath Harmon, God willing, tomorrow, and he's the new executive director of the ASHA. And one of their mandates to get credentialed is to cover more than one sport. They want you to cover them all. So we want to hold up our end of the deal with that, and we're going to do our best to do it across the board.
Yeah.
So.
That'll be really exciting, being able to highlight all of the sports
absolutely.
and have that the viewership and
we try our best.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us have, all of us work Average Joe's full time. If you take 40 hours, if you consider that full time, all of us are full time employees.
Yeah.
Noah, Deidre, Ivan, April, Josh, myself, across the board, we're all 40-hour Brick Boy, if you consider that full time. So. But we also, almost all of us have other jobs. So we do that plus Average Joe's, so.
It takes a lot.
Oh, it takes a village, man.
It does. And speaking of, you do have sponsorship opportunities available for programming like Road to the Blue Map.
Yep.
And then, of course, through the WAC TV24, there's sponsorships available. So if your business would like to get involved and help promote and sponsor all the good work that Average Joe's does for all of these athletes, then get in touch with us. You can email Bo, call him. Do you want to give out any of your contact information?
Yeah, you can contact us. The easiest, probably quickest way would be to Facebook messages. That's the easy, quick way.
So
Just
follow
do
Average Joe's Sports Talk on Facebook and send them a direct message.
That way, it'll get discovered really quick because we got about 8 or 9 people that can get in there at any time.
Yeah.
Look. So that's probably the easiest, quickest way. Same thing with TV24, WEAC, TV24 right here.
Message us, or you can email me at Courtney@tv24.tv. I'm happy to relay the information over to Bo and to get you information on what it takes to be involved with this, because it does get really great exposure, as Bo is throwing out some really big numbers, and as you can look back and see, those are numbers that people are engaging in these posts. So if you want to get exposure for your business and help sponsor these athletic programs, and that's the way to do that.
Yep, no doubt. And then, now what people, in the past, on either side of the spectrum, whether it be 24 or Average Joe's, didn't have the other. So now if you do with me, you get 24 in the deal.
Yeah.
If you go with 24, you get Average Joe's in the deal. So that's a pretty big something to offer somebody.
Sure it is. That's a win-win. Again, that's just promoting those businesses that are promoting us and making sure that everyone is aware, because oftentimes we forget about the local businesses, and we need to make sure that we're giving them our support, because they're giving support to things like this.
That's right. And it helps out everybody involved. I throughout history, my number one goal is, I do not want to take money from schools. I've never been that guy. I want to take money from a business that needs sponsorship, and in turn give them that sponsorship by covering these kids. So then that way that guy's happy, he's getting featuring kids. I'm happy, we're getting paid, we have an LLC, and this school, parents, players, and administration's happy that their product is getting featured. So
it all works together, and that's what community is all working together for the greater good and making sure that we're all supporting one another. So, well, Bo, thanks for sharing with us the story. I know we have more that we could talk on, but that's,
here all day.
I know, you're going to have to come back and visit.
Absolutely.
I know this is gearing up to be a very busy time for you, as every day really is. So make sure you make a point on your calendar to come back and talk with us.
Absolutely.
And make sure you follow the Average Joe Sports Talk Facebook page, YouTube page. You can always find their information. We share, of course, their content as well on WAC TV24 Facebook page. So look them up, get involved, and we would very much like to make an appeal for sponsors.
Absolutely.
We need to have the sponsors are what makes this all happen. So thank you to all that do sponsor. And if you're considering sponsoring, please let us know soon, because those sponsorships do go fairly quickly because people see the value in it. So give us an email, give us a call, and let us see how we can help promote your business. So with that, thank you for your time this morning, Bo.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure getting to know you and working with you. I appreciate your work ethic and all the great things that you do for all of the athletes out there.
Absolutely.
So,
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity this morning.
Yeah, anytime. Well, we have got an exciting week coming up on Rise and Shine. We want to tell you tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday, we are going to have Keith Burns in the house. And so he is from a band called Trick Pony and is an incredible musician and a really nice guy too. So I'm looking forward to learning more about what he has going on right now. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow morning. Of course, that's at 7:30. So So again, special guest Keith Burns. And then of course Wednesday, we've got Oven Odyssey Wednesday with Chef Dave and Susan Shipman. Thursday, we have special guests from Gadsden State. And then Friday, Ellen Hurst with Alabama Cares, and she has a special guest in with her as well. So make sure you're tuning in every weekday morning right here to Rise and Shine. So we want to wish you all a very happy day on behalf of WEAC TV 24 and Average Joe's Sports Talk, wishing you a wonderful day and a great rest of your week. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Rise and Shine.